The incident occurred.
Here's where it gets weird.
It got real weird, real fast. Something I've never been involved in.
Never in my life.
I've never had this happen before.
Away we go traveling. Hi.
This is a first for us.
Yeah.
We're doing a late night video. We had a whole thing happen.
Yeah, so we wanted to get talk about it before we
before we slept on it.
Yeah, before we slept on it. So when we just walked back, we're sweaty. So hang in there. This is a story.
I don't know if it's a good one, but it's a story. Yeah, so we're sweaty. So we decided tonight to go do fireworks in this very calm downtown that we have seen.
In our last video, I said, we just don't see anyone downtown. There's just no one here. It's
we
beautiful.
found all the people.
Every one of them.
Evidently, they were all at one time on the Blue Bridge, which is super cool when there's 3 of you on it. It's not as cool with
1,000?
12 lanes of people the entire width.
Yeah,
And
like sardines.
It became an eclectic crowd that some of them were not happy with each other.
There were, how did you put it? It looked like a mall in the 80s.
It did kind of look like a mall in the 80s. There was just people milling about. And the fireworks were going off. So we were on the back wall of the bridge. I like to have my back to things. And Kara was next to me. And we could see the fireworks. It was great. I mean, I'm sure there's fireworks playing in this video now because I got some footage of the fireworks. And they were super cool. And we had these groups of people that were coming in front of us and passing through. And then kind of about halfway through the show, we had a group of individuals come up, all dressed the same. And then there was some discussions about who was going to be fighting who.
Yeah.
And this happened, I mean, like directly in front of us. So we're kind of like listening and we're like, did we just hear that?
Did we just hear them say they're going to
fight? And then they kind of were going back and forth about that. And the people to our left grabbed their chairs and they went to the right. It's like, hey, well, they heard the same thing we did. So we said, okay, we're gonna move down a little bit here and just kind of get out of this mess. So we moved down a little bit. We found a nice spot that I think was fine. Kind of pulled up behind a family. Some other lady was recording. Super nice. Everything was fine.
This put us in the middle of the bridge, though.
It was the middle, but it was still. We probably had maybe 80 or 90 yards to our right of the bridge still.
Almost, I mean, like laterally.
Oh yeah. We were in the middle of the bridge now instead of on the back wall.
Like you're driving where the lines are painted.
Kind of pressed forward.
Yeah.
So we were there for a few minutes, and then for some reason that group, which we had moved away from, then migrated behind us, and they added more people who were now mad about something else. And then there was another discussion of a fight, but this time it was a girl and a guy, not 2 guys, and it was some argument about money or who knows what it was. But it happened again. It starts happening directly behind us, and it was kind of annoying. But they weren't being loud. It was just happening, like directly behind us.
We're in public. I mean, we don't have unreasonable expectations about just there are humans in public, and that's fine. We've traveled the world. It's fine. But this started getting.
But there's also a fireworks show going on, actively that everybody's watching, except for everybody behind us. And they all started. I could feel the energy level shift a lot on the bridge. It was weird. We've been talking about it. It's like, should we move down? And we did move down, and then it followed us. But that honestly, that was more annoying than anything. I don't think it actually started any kind of incident.
Yeah.
The incident occurred.
Here's where it gets weird.
It got real weird, real fast. Something I've never been involved in.
Never in my life.
Have never had this happen before. Massive screaming to our right side, followed by 1,000 people stampeding.
A literal stampede. A wave of human bodies, and we were on the leading edge of the wave.
We were kind of we were the front of the group that when that group started moving and everybody started going with them, we didn't have a choice. We then had to go left because we were being pushed by the whole pile. The classic something has happened in a crowd and the whole crowd runs away from it.
Yeah. And so it was a split second, which I don't know if it's both of us what we've done in our lives, but my brain kind of went into slow-mo and was like, we need to run. And we both looked at each other. All right, you could go with, and then we
did, but fortunately, this crowd, when they were running, they all sort of, I don't know why, but they kind of banked off to the right a little bit, more towards the other side of the bridge. So we went to the left, back to where we were before,
Right.
up against a wall. And then there was actually, if it got really ugly, there's a part of the bridge you can kind of jump over, and there's a little platform. So we had an escape route versus going towards the middle. So we kind of stayed to that thing. And then that only lasted like 15 seconds because we got to a point where we ran into a woman who had been knocked over. She was under her bike and had been...
And another guy fell. There were 2 people
and they were being trampled.
And a bicycle that were being trampled
actively.
Right in front of us. So we stopped.
We stopped right at them, and the crowd was kind of going around us then.
The crowd go around so they could pick themselves up. And I don't...
Well, she lost her shoes. I know she was looking for her shoes. And they had a wagon or a bike or something that had wheels missing. I mean, there was thing
damage
went down and they were all...
Destruction, and it was really
But
scary.
it happened really fast.
I mean, I don't know if you saw it when we were walking out. There was a woman who was holding her maybe 2-year-old or something. They abandoned the stroller and
they left.
She came back for the stroller.
Yeah.
And, because it was a panic situation.
Yeah. So the whole thing, I think from start to end was 15 seconds?
Probably.
20 seconds? Who knows? And we don't think anything happened to our right. Gary from the future here. As it turns out, we were incorrect. Something really did happen to cause the panic, the stampede, and the increased police presence. Hey, Gary from the future here again. We just wanted to clarify a few things that we thought about after we had a chance to sleep on it. So we weren't on the Blue Bridge without research. We actually saw it on the local news. The guy who was kind of in charge of the fireworks said, hey, this is a great place to watch them. I assumed it'd be closed since it's a bridge and they were shooting off fireworks in downtown, but it's not. And he said it was a good place to watch. So we figured, if that's the case, it was likely going to be an okay venue. As it turns out, it wasn't. But it just goes to show, even though you do a little bit of prep work and you prepare, stuff can happen. So trust your instincts, pay attention to your surroundings, and always be prepared to adapt if you have to. I mean, before the show, there had been somebody firing off Roman candles on that side of the bridge, which we already knew at the beginning of this thing. It's like, man, there's some weird stuff going on.
Very much.
We had weird feelings. We had weird feelings the whole night.
It felt weird from the beginning. It really did, yeah.
But this has been a really quiet town, so we kind of expected it to stay the same.
This was not quiet. So here's the thing, if you're not new here, we love walking. Like we love walkable cities and being able to walk and things, not have to park and, get through the traffic. And the reason we're sweating is because we walked the mile and a half back from this situation. While we were walking, I think probably close to every single police officer that's on duty tonight in Grand Rapids, Michigan, went towards that bridge area, or at least towards the downtown area. Yeah,
I think we saw probably a dozen, maybe more cop cars all heading that direction. And then there was a helicopter up too that was hovering. So we don't know what was going on. We don't know if it's at all related to what happened on our bridge. If something else was another part of downtown, who knows? But it was just a weird night. So after that whole Stampede thing, we decided we're done with this bridge.
Very quickly.
We waited for it to clear. It didn't seem to be anything going on there. So we went to the right. Unfortunately, like 30 seconds before the grand finale of the fireworks. So we heard them. Between buildings, but we didn't actually get to see them.
All that trouble, and we didn't even get to the grand finale. But
we won't forget.
Okay,
memorable fireworks show.
So if you're visiting Grand Rapids, I highly suggest don't
go to the Blue Bridge, maybe.
The Blue Bridge during the daytime for a nice, peaceful, beautiful walk over the water.
Super nice.
On a Saturday night when there's fireworks.
Not as nice.
It's a bottleneck of humanity. And I have never experienced that in my life.
Yeah. Let's hope we don't again.
Right.
All right. Thanks for watching.
I need a shower.
Probably a nap, although it's 11.
I need a nap. 11 p.m. Yeah.
All right.
All right, friends. Bye.
See ya.
Happy traveling.
It's funny.